I am delighted now to be joined by a name that probably needs no introduction for many. It's the 1999 multi-platinum album writer Metropolis Blue, and he's a multi-award winner. He's worked with a catalogue of industry names, and the distinctions go on and on and on. Pleasure to be joined by Jack L, otherwise Jack Lukeman. How are you, sir?
Hello, how you doing?
It's funny, I was actually mentioned the name here in the studio, and I said Jack Lukeman, and a few people were like, oh right, and I said Jack L, and they go, oh yeah. So it's mad that the alias definitely works for you. How did you just decide Jack L?
Well, it was just when I was starting out at some stage, I was Jack L, and I suppose in the 90s when we all got websites, the name was already gone, Jack L, so I became Jack Lukeman. But in Ireland, Jack L just kind of always stuck, and but most of the records and that are all Jack Lukeman, and the website is Jack Lukeman. But you know, it's okay to be remembered for either name, as long as I suppose people remember you. Exactly,
as long as they get directed to that website, that's the most important thing. So we were just talking there about your voice, and I just have to ask, you know, because for everybody it's a character thing. I know we were talking to Lyra a few months ago, and she sounds completely different to how she talks and sings, but you seem to have this very distinctive voice that can not only stay low, but can also go falsetto high and everything. How did you find and lock in this distinctive sound for you vocally as a musician?
Yeah, I'm lucky that I was born with the gift of a voice that could have about 4 or 5 maybe octaves. Some days it depends on what time you catch me, what time of day. So as a kid, you know, I was lucky that I had a falsetto kind of a voice, and then when it broke, everybody used to laugh when I would sing because my voice was so low. And I was, you know, when I was a teenager, I remember in music class, which we were lucky to do in school, when I would sing, people would laugh because my voice, it was like, you know, Darth Vader. So it was so thankfully eventually I suppose it grew into the singing voice I have now, and so I suppose I was just lucky, but I also had a great obsession and fascination with music from the word go as well, and desire to write songs, so it all kind of came together, I suppose. I like to think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Definitely. I mean, as you say, there are gifts that you can be given, and if you're to use them is the key. So you're definitely using it for sure. And I was looking back on the kind of history of how you came into music and things like that, and I saw that you did bohemian-style busking across Europe when you were only really, from what I can discover here anyway, kind of just getting into music. And what just made you go, you know what, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to not only hit the road, but I'm going to hit the ocean? What made you do it?
Well, it was just, you know, you grow up in a small town and you always want to get out of the place. You know, over the years you realise these are fantastic places to be, you know, you always kind of end up back there. But when you're younger, you want to get out of town and see the world. So, yeah, I went, when I was about 18 or 19, I went busking around Europe, and I suppose that gave me that quantum leap where you can see that you can actually survive as a musician, just about. And from there, you're able to, you know, go from being a street musician to get into studios and get into venues. And I came back to Dublin, and I started playing a place called the Dark Club, which kind of became a legendary kind of venue that would, you know, we'd go on stage at 12 o'clock at night, and it was one of those old 90s speakeasy kind of places. And so I kind of grew out of there and went on to places like the Olympia and the Point, and so yeah, it was a good, you know, busking is a great apprenticeship because it teaches you how to play, how to sing, how to draw a crowd, you know, and I suppose how to survive as a musician to get you, you know, up to the next level.
That is interesting, all right, yeah. And it's funny because some people will ask, you know, if they don't know music, let's say, they'll come over and be like, oh, do you busk? It's kind of become such a, like, culturally accepted and just like very interesting thing to people draw across, because I mean you have huge names like Ed Sheeran and things like that who grew up exactly like that, just started really busking and then finding their sound and then just getting discovered. But then, as you say, you went into studios, you started hitting huge names and things like that, and then, as we said at the introduction, the multi-platinum album Metropolis Blue, a serious success, particularly in the Irish music industry, but a massive success all around. Songs like Georgie Boy and Rooftop Lullaby. And I have to ask, do you still play them?
Yeah, I would play it, yeah. I mean, Georgie Boy would be one of the most known songs. So I would, Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I go through phases where I don't feel, if I don't feel like playing something, I don't. But it's always, it's a nice one to play in the encores, and Rooftop Lullaby, I suppose, would be one of my favourite songs that I've ever written. So I'd still do that one as well, yeah. But when you've got, I suppose nearly 15 albums at this stage, you're always interested in the latest one, which is called Echo One, which is coming out. Just about to come out, and so I suppose that's the one. But when you do gigs, I would be compassionate towards the audience as regards not playing completely new stuff. I think it's not. I know why people are there. They come because of the songs they know, and I just love playing music. Music is its own reward. Playing it is just such a joy that. I don't mind playing old songs.
And I mean, old is only totally in retrospect. We will definitely move on, because I think it's brilliant how you found the success when you did with Echo One, which is coming out September 19th, this album that's coming up. If it's anything like your latest release that came out on August 5th, which was Sundogs in the Moonshine, I think we are in for a major treat. And I love the story of the inspiration behind Sundogs. And I love if you'd be able to tell us here, what was the inspiration for it?
Well, just to explain the title, Sundogs is a reference to sun worshippers, I suppose, and those people who travel around, I suppose, hunting the sun, make it their job. And Moonshine is a reference to full moon parties, which you get in, exotic places and beaches. They'll have full moon parties where people will dance all night long. You don't even need a moon. You can be a half moon party or a no moon party. It's just an excuse for a party. But when I was locked up, like everybody else, I was reminiscing about great old trips years ago, and it's kind of about just a trip around Thailand and dancing on the beach till the sun comes up. And what a great thing to do! Everybody should be doing that.
Oh, well, if you have the weather for it, Jack, I think that's really, if you're able to get away with it. I think we would be too if we had the spirit. We'll find any excuse to have a party, I'd like to think. But it's such a great song. Is that reflected throughout the whole album? Take us kind of on a journey right now. Before this comes out, what can we expect from Echo On?
Well, yeah, there's a nice variety of stuff on it. And we've got one called The Battle of the Hawthorn Trees, which is kind of a big old epic, a romantic song, and it was kind of inspired by the resilience of nature, Sam again locked up, looking out the window and seeing the hawthorn tree go from the black skeleton that it is in the winter to the beautiful white angel that it becomes in the summer. So that was a great picture of resilience for me. So I wrote this big, I suppose, epic ballad to go along with that. And something like, so there's a lot of big up songs, just stuff like The Anchor, which is a very popular song, and another one called I've Forgotten, which is kind of about the amnesia that we all had when we all came back out again, trying to remember how to talk to people. And so there's a few interesting tunes on it. The theme, Echo One, the song is my musical partner died suddenly before we started to make the album. Derry Cronin was his name, so that's kind of dedicated to him. It's about how his music will echo on forever. So yeah, it's a very I suppose it's quite a deep album, but it's quite a lot of fun as well, and a lot of great music on it. I worked with Duncan Maitland, who's a great producer, and I think we got some lovely versions of the songs.
Oh, well, that's fantastic, and I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful homage to Derek Ronan, I'm sure. And let's talk then about the Big Kahuna, the giant event coming up on the 25th of November. You're playing in the 3 Arena. How are you feeling going into it?
Well, it's obviously very exciting. I haven't really done a proper gig in Ireland in a while. I did a few around the lockdown, but coming out of it, because, I was doing a lot of live streams and, they were kind of hitting 100,000 people, I thought I'd do some big gig when I came out. So, and then it was 25 years of making music, and so I wanted to do something to release the album, celebrate the 25 years and the resilience of music, and being lucky enough to have 25 years and all these albums and all these experiences, and playing with all these people and meeting all these people and all the great people who have followed me like a football team and follow me around the world and stuff. So it's a celebration of all those things on the 25th of November in the Tree Arena. So yeah, I'm in the middle of just working out the set and working with the band and putting it all together. So that's always exhilarating.
I'd say so. And so tell me now, what would you say to someone who just cannot wait, like they're, the second the tickets go on sale, they're like, oh, I'm getting them, and they're really into it. What can you tell them? What can they expect?
Well, I suppose it being to celebrate 25 years, I've been doing it this long, and I think I might know how to do it at this stage, and I think I might have a good canon of songs at this stage. I mean, when you start out, it's always a thing if you don't have a set big enough. When you release your first album, you've only got 10 songs, and you need like 15 or so for it. So it's great to be at a point where you have too many songs, and it's just fantastic. I'm just, I love performing. It's where I suppose it's the most enjoyable part of the whole thing. So, and I always try and enjoy myself, and if I do, the audience does as well. So yeah, I suppose come and hear the greatest hits from the last 25 years, and that's hopefully enticing enough.
Oh, I'm sure it is. And people can get the tickets now. I'm sorry, because I thought they weren't even live yet, but they are actually live, are they?
Oh, yes, they're all on sale, yeah, Ticketmaster.com, yeah.
Fantastic. Ticketmaster.com. Get over there, folks. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing amalgamation. 25 years, you can't believe it, of Jack Lukeman. It's going to be unbelievable. Well, look, Jack, thank you so much. And you know what? Before I let you go, I do have to ask, because I noticed that you were actually touring with Jewel Hollins and Sting. I'd love to get what that experience was like.
Oh, yeah, I've been lucky during the summer. I've toured with Jules quite a bit over the few years. So that's always great. And, you get to, meet all these great musicians that he plays with, and I was lucky then during the summer to open for Sting in Germany, and Sting has been in my life since I was a kid. One of the first singles was Walking on the Moon. Myself and my brother got it, and so to stand side stage and see Sting and meet Sting, and I know his son Joe Sumner supported me in New York a while back, so I knew Joe. So it was great to meet his father, Sting, and I was standing side stage singing a musical genius like that. Play his instrument and sing those songs. You're the richest man in the world. To see that and to have that privilege.
Best seat in the house.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, without a doubt.
Unbelievable. Well, look, Jack, I cannot.
PIIIIIP.
Yeah, that is literally about as very important as you can get. Without you, the first half hour of the show doesn't exist. So seriously, kudos, Jack. I mean, your career even so far in music has been incredible, and the fact that you're still able to deliver the quality of the product that you do, and still in that Jack Lukeman distinctive sound and unique approach to music, I think it's phenomenal. And I think that night in the Tree Arena is going to be amazing. So best of luck, especially for Echo On, that's coming out on September 19th. Cannot wait to get my hands on it. Thanks so much for taking the time, sir.
Thanks a million. Thank you so much.